Now you may have heard me mention how much I love drawing and painting leaves, and whenever I'm out I'm always taking photographs of leaves. So I have here Drawing and Painting Leaves by Leigh and Gale. This is a new book published by the Crowood Press just recently in 2025, and it's a paperback with 144 pages. Now in this book, Leigh and Gale is going to explain to you how to draw realistic leaves. She's going to give lots of advice on colour mixing with watercolours, and there are step-by-step instructions for you. This book also covers all 4 seasons with suggested colour palettes for each season. So it's everything you need in one book, and we will have a look inside. So we have lovely green here. Now what is so much fun about leaves is they start off green and then through the seasons they can change colours. So you've got lots of practice with colour mixing, and there are so many shades of green, and anyone who's been doing any botanical painting will know it's always best not to use a ready mixed green but to mix your own green. So Leigh is going to help you to achieve beautiful greens right the way through the year, and all the colours of autumn, which is such a wonderful time if you like leaves. So enough of me waffling, and let's get on with the book. So we'll start with the contents. We have the introduction, the botany of leaves, drawing leaves, painting leaves, and then we have the 4 seasons of spring, summer, autumn and winter. And then we have drawing and painting modified and adapted leaves, and we also have a glossary of botanical terms. So start off with the introduction. Now this book is also full of beautiful photos, so if you like leaves there is a lot in here for you to study. So chapter 1, the botany of leaves, the function of leaves, and we have lots of different leaf shapes for you, so they're all nice and clear for you to see. And we have here different things like leaf margins, compound leaves, leaf arrangements and attachments. Beautiful, beautiful examples. So the book is very easy to read, it's very easy to understand. And we have chapter 2, drawing leaves. So we move on to the fundamentals for drawing leaves. We've got the equipment that you will need. We have these little boxes here, some extra information. We've got perspective and foreshortening. I love leaves, you get all these different shapes, the twists and the folds. We've got leaf rubbings, drawing multiple leaves, compound leaves, the movement of leaves and the details. I mean, look at this lovely wavy crinkles here. Drawing the veins, tonal drawings, how the light hits the different textures of a leaf surface, that's really useful for you. A shortcut for indicating shading. I have all these lovely examples. Then we move on to chapter 3, painting leaves. Now Leigh lists some of the major suppliers. I mean, these are all available in the UK, and I'm sure many of them are available in other countries as well. And it's always a really good idea to use professional colour watercolours when you can, because the pigments are usually stronger. And anyway, she does list the professionals and the student qualities where they're available. Now in the book it's mainly Winsor and Newton, and if you are a beginner it's important just to note that quite often the colours will vary between the different brands. So if you have a different brand and you don't have any Winsor and Newton, you can check online the pigments and find a similar pigment in the brand you're using. And it is quite amazing that some colours like Indian yellow are very different from one brand to another. So anyway, we have a list of the yellows and the turquoises and the blues here. Then you can mix so many different shades of green, and green is never looks quite right when you use it straight from a tube. It can be a bit artificial looking, but here you can create wonderful natural looking greens. So it's great fun mixing up all your different greens. And here's a lovely example here of how to check the colour. You have a little swatch on a piece of card, punch a hole, hold it up against the leaf. That is so useful. So we move on to identifying highlights and shadows, different painting techniques. Painting shadows here again. Adding glazes. And I love the colours of autumn. I think that's what makes leaves so special, is some of them just start off green and stay green, others just change through the seasons, and these autumn colours are absolutely beautiful. So we have an example here. And creating bloom on leaves. This is an interesting bit because that can be quite tricky, but it's all explained here. I love this shape of this and the colours. And then we move on to chapter 4, seasonal leaves, and we have spring. So we have the suggested spring palette, and from these colours you can mix all these different greens. Now they're all Winsor & Newton apart from one yellow, which is a Daniel Smith. So we have some step-by-step instructions, and then we move on to summer. You have all the differences between the leaves through the seasons. Again, we have the summer palette and the shades of green that you will need for summer leaves. Some more examples, and then autumn. I mean, autumn is just so wonderful with all the different beautiful colours. Again, we have our suggested palette here and the colours that we can mix. Another example. I love crinkly leaves where they curl like this. I actually did a leaf very similar to this for Inktober a few years ago. And here we have winter. So even in winter we've got other things we can look at, like frosty leaves and skeleton leaves. Again, we have the winter palette and the colours that you can mix. It's got working with artificial light as well, creating a skeleton leaf and a frosted leaf. And then we have drawing and painting modified and adapted leaves. So we have different shapes. We've got spiky leaves, feathery leaves, climbing leaves. I just have to help these last pages. Succulents here. And a glossary of botanical terms. Some contributors to the book, art suppliers for the UK, and the index. So this to me is an absolutely fantastic book. I really do love this. I've often said I think I love leaves more than flowers even. There is something very special about leaves for me, and leaves and trees. And as I mentioned before, it's always better to mix your own greens. This book will really help you right the way through every aspect of drawing leaves. I hope that you will be interested in this book if you're at all interested in botanical painting. Now, Leigh Gale has 2 other books, both with the Crowood Press. So if you have her other books, you'll probably want to include this into your library of books. If you're new to Leigh, then have a look at her other books, and maybe this is a book you might want to add in the future.